we are getting a new camera, a 4K camera that shoots in a nice high bit rate. And we're going to have to adjust our workflow some because we work off a network a lot and we have some storage space requirements. Because of that, we're not going to be able to work on these files natively. So how you would address this is usually you'd create a project using a proxy in Premiere. The problem is I don't really like any of these presets. And I really don't like conforming my video to a certain resolution before I even get to editing it. Because Premiere can handle it, it can conform it itself. So because we're power users, we're going to jump over into Adobe Media Encoder and create our own proxy preset. First step is to create an encoding preset, which we're going to name something memorable, like encoder for proxy or whatever you like. I'm going to leave my format H.264. I know some of you guys will be jumping over to something a bit more pretentious, but I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep all of my settings the same. Like I said, I want the resolution of my videos to be the same even if the quality is bad, because the client's never really going to see my proxy files, and that's fine. But I do want my proxy files to be a true representation of my original files, resolution-wise, frame rate-wise, and aspect ratio-wise. So, hit OK when you've done that. And the next step is to create an ingest preset. Once again, name it something good like new ingest preset. Yeah, something memorable. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. So the workflow for this is you plug in your SD card or whatever your media is, and then you're going to drag that media directly into Premiere and let it handle the directory movement for you. What you're going to do is you're going to want your files to be copied to the destination, and you want your transcoded files to go to the same destination. Well, I do. Maybe you don't. You can change it however you like. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pick a destination. You can't leave these blank. And we can actually change this later, which I am going to do, and I'll show you how to. So once again, pick a destination, and here's where you click and find your encoder preset that you made earlier. Hit OK. So now we've got our new ingest settings ready to go. Jump back into Premiere and click Add Ingest Preset. Now, for me, because I've already done this before, it actually opened up the proper location. But because I know you wouldn't be watching this video if you had done this before, the way to get your location is to jump back into Media Encoder, right-click and show Reveal Preset File. What it's going to do is it's going to pop open a window with wherever your preset is, and then you can go ahead and copy that and find your preset, which is going to change because it's the same folder. Anyway, go ahead and click on it. By that, I mean click on the right one. Okay, so here's where your primary destination and proxy destinations can change. So you can pick one for this specific project, or you can have the same project. The use preset destination will move it to the location that you specified earlier. That's not what I want, even though it happens to be the same folder, but as a rule, I want it in the same project. Same location as the project. So I'll go ahead and give it a name called Proxy Example. Make sure everything else makes sense. Hit OK. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of reset my demo real quick so we can work through this problem together. Okay, so here is where the magic is about to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop open a bunch of windows so you can see exactly what's going on here. So we've got my SD card here, the directory of my project here, Premiere, and Encoder. So the cool thing about this is when I drag my footage in to Premiere, it's going to create a copy in my directory, and it's going to create a proxy and move it into my directory. Now, even cooler than that is I can start working on it before any of that's done. So right here I've got the video, and when I create a new sequence, it's going to actually pull the video from my SD card as it's copying it over. Once it's copied over, I'm going to get an offline notification, and then it's going to reconnect in my directory. But this is really nice because if you have big files, you can actually start editing right away. We'll go ahead and let it do its thing. Okay, so it just reconnected. You can see that the footage is copied over now. And if we want to see the progress in Premiere, you can jump over to Window and go to Progress, and you can find the progress bar here. Here you can see it's attached to my proxy, and you can't actually tell right now, but we're working off of the proxy. I'll show you how to toggle between the proxy and the original file. Let me explain what I just did. Click on Button Editor, grab the Toggle Proxies button, and drag it down into your toolbar. When it's blue, that means you're looking at the proxy. When it's not blue, you are looking at the original footage. So this is neat, because if you ever want to do anything like color correct your footage, you want to have the original detail there. So you can see as I toggle between the proxy and the original footage, looks good, looks bad, looks good, looks bad. And that's exactly how we want it. That means it's working. So let me show you a real quick example of what it looks like with the original Adobe presets. So what we can do is we can jump into our media browser and adjust our Ingest Presets. Here we can find some preset. Let's go with H.264 in this weird resolution. Hit OK. First thing you're going to notice is nothing changed. It's not going to re-encode footage that you've already imported. And that's fine. So we're going to grab some other footage and pull it in. You're going to see the whole thing is going to kick off again. It's copying over this black and white buffalo footage. And because we're on a deadline and our clients need us to have it done yesterday, we're going to go ahead and start editing right away. So we can see this is the original footage here. And when our proxy completes, you're going to see something a bit strange happen. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can see that the aspect ratio changed. Now, is this going to kill you when you're editing? Probably not. You can probably deal with a little bit of a squished file. But you don't want to if you don't have to. Come on. We're editing pros. So if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, and maybe I'll make a follow-up video. There's still more to talk about when it comes to proxies, and I've got some ideas for some things to cover next. Take care, guys.